Hey, what's going on? Facebook Live. It's Eric Hammond here with the Orange Stack. I'm in my car actually today, which is another a normal recording place. But anyway, and it's Monday too. So this is Facebook Friday. It's Monday. I'll just jump right in and tell you what's going on. So last week, if you haven't been following along, my wife actually had her third daughter on Thursday. And so last week was just a crazy mess. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to hitting my Facebook Live video for the week. I was picking my wife up from the hospital and coming home with our new daughter. She's happy, healthy, and doing great, so quick update on her. And then right now I'm actually at the San Diego courthouse. I got called to jury duty today, so of all the days. Anyway, we had a quick lunch break, and I thought I'd hop out here and make this quick video so that I can keep staying in touch with you guys. As you know, many of you, this video goes out to our newsletter group too, so I wanted to make sure that this Friday, or actually this Thursday, everybody will be getting the content that we produced this week. So without further ado, I wanted to get into CRMs today. I've had a lot of conversations about these this week. One of my favorite quotes from Tom Ferry actually is, how does he say it? Everybody always wants to know which CRM should I be using, and he always says the one that you currently have. I think a lot of people base their business productivity around the CRM that they have and what they're really doing with it and using it for, and they're always looking for something better to use or maybe justifying why they're not doing that great on their CRM. So I just want to answer a couple of questions that I've gotten from a lot of you, and then also maybe go over some of the ways that we're using our CRM and how you can maybe apply these principles to your business. So CRMs, there's lots to choose from out there. They start really big with Salesforce and work their way down through Infusionsoft and Sitely. There's a ton of little ones out there that a handful of people use. Some of them are very specific to certain niches. So if you're in a certain industry, you're going to have a CRM that maybe nobody else is interested in using because just your industry has capabilities with it. So again, most of our businesses come from the real estate industry, and I think that a lot of those are lead-driven CRMs, meaning that leads are put into your CRM and your team can follow up with them. But there's a lot of other CRMs out there where you're just trying to track your clients and know more about who they are. So some of the big things that we've used the CRM for is just really keeping track of who we know. Notes about them, the last time we talked to somebody, what happened during that conversation, did we meet, did I send an email, was it a voicemail that we left, what was the meeting about, what kind of content topics did we go over, things like that. And, along that, I have some notes over here I'm trying to look at, but I'll just put them up here so I can see them. Some of the things that we're starting to do with our CRM, if you don't know what CRM is, it's a contact relationship manager, is automation. So automation meaning that, if this happens, then that can happen type of thing. There's a lot of programs called if this, then that. But really, you're trying to have your CRM simplify your business life, So as you stay in contact with people and little triggers along the way can happen, what happens to those people? So for example, one of the campaigns right now I have running on Facebook is to get more subscribers to our newsletter because I think it's valuable information. I'm trying to share this information with the people that I meet and can hopefully benefit your guys' business strategies and what you're doing with your marketing. Well, I'm trying to get more followers on Facebook and trying to get more people to learn more about what we do. And so this Facebook campaign will actually trigger a newsletter sign up. So somebody will click a button on Facebook and that triggers our CRM to add them to the recipient list of this newsletter. So that's a cool feature. It's something that normally you'd have to go in, download the contact information from Facebook, and then you'd have to import it into your mail campaign and then add them to that and make sure that they're getting it every week. So it's just a nice feature. In case I didn't cover it already, we use Insightly, which is owned by Google. It's actually a very affordable option, but very customizable. So they have everything from free all the way up to several $100s a month. They have a lot of on-hands training, a lot of video content to show you how to use it. And that's one thing I liked, is that when you add more people to our system, it's easy for there to already be content to show people how to use it rather than me having to hold their hand and say, this is how you do this or this is how you do that. I've used programs like Salesforce in the past, which is unbelievable. They do pretty much anything that you can imagine. As long as you have somebody who can kind of write the code and customize it for you, Salesforce can really do anything But you can imagine the problem is to get into a platform like that with a small team of 5 to 10 people, you could be upwards of $20,000 to $40,000 in initial setup costs and time to get that going, and then as well as that, it could be $50 to $200 per user per month after that. So it gets kind of pricey, but definitely worth it if you can justify that kind of a cost. So we talked about automation with a newsletter. Another thing that's cool is you can actually track open rates and things like that. So a lot of CRMs use MailChimp or Constant Contact, BombBomb, things like that. And so when you send out an email campaign or something that goes out on a weekly basis or monthly basis, you can actually track the open rates on those, and it'll report back to you saying that, this newsletter had this type of open rate or the click-through rate or unsubscribers. It'll actually take the unsubscribers off the list so you don't keep bugging them with messages that they don't want to hear. And then you can actually do something with those people. Maybe you set it to anybody who unsubscribed from your email list. It triggers you to call them back and say, hey, I noticed that you unsubscribed from our newsletter. Is there content that you want to hear? Or how can I help you better? That way they don't just drift off to somebody that you never hear from again. Maybe every 6 months you want to stay in contact with the people that open your newsletter once. Maybe there's people who open your newsletter and watch every video or read every article that you put in there, and you want to contact them on a monthly basis. Anyway, all that kind of stuff, automation is really set up for you once you tell the system, the CRM, what you want it to do. So that's one of the cool things that our CRM does for us. Another one is follow-up. So maybe you say, okay, I called this guy back in June. I left him a voicemail. He didn't answer. Remind me in 2 weeks to go pop by if I'm going to be in the area. Maybe I went by and he wasn't there, so it's going to trigger me to do this. It's really just a great way to follow up better, because oftentimes you rely on your brain, and your brain's going to fail you, right? Because it's not a great storage device. It's not meant for doing a lot of things like that. It's meant for creating new ideas and coming up with content so that you can take notes and get it out of your brain. So a CRM is a great calendar in the sense of following up with people so that you can convert interested parties into potential customers and future clients. So I like that feature about it too. Another one is great is ROI tracking. So a lot of CRMs will link with different financial parts of your business as well. So that way you know, how much is a client really worth to me? If I did have to pay a lead fee to get a new client, what's that client worth to me? Maybe a lifetime value of a client is worth $20 to you, and maybe it's worth $20,000 to you. And the way that you really can dive down and know what the potential value of a client is by tracking when they buy from me once, how often do they buy from me? How many people do they refer to me? If I sell to John and John tells Steve and Larry and Mary about it, how much are each of those people worth to me? And how many referrals do I get from an average client? And how often do I have to stay in front of somebody before they buy from me? So all those kind of things can be tracked through a CRM. I think in the end, it just ultimately leads to a better conversion rate, if you will. So it's going to help you understand how to convert the people that you are working with that aren't clients yet, and it's also going to be able to help your past clients remember who you are and stay in touch with them more. We talk about real estate a lot around here, and that's huge. There's a statistic that 87% of people don't remember the real estate agent who sold them their own house after 12 months. So 2 years goes by, they have a friend who wants to buy, or they want to refinance or do something different. They don't know who that real estate agent is. So by just staying in contact with them, which we've talked about content a lot over the last couple of weeks, they're going to remember who you are. And really that's the point of a CRM, is helping you stay in contact with your database more regularly, more often, more purposefully, and get the messages that they actually want to hear. I'm not going to get super deep into that, but you can actually track if somebody opens a message about a certain topic. You can put them into a certain email list where they only get information about that topic. That way you're not giving them information that they don't want. So if you took the email campaign Constant Contact, which is incredible, it works very well, just like MailChimp. It's a little bit more robust than MailChimp. The two, a CRM and Constant Contact, can work great together, and they can work great independently of each other, but that's where the API comes into play. So you can basically tell your CRM, if this happens, then that happens, right? We talked about that a little bit ago. There's basically ways that the CRM can communicate with third-party software packages, so like Facebook is one, and we talked about MailChimp and Constant Contact being one, QuickBooks, there's dialers, there's all these other third-party programs that your CRM can possibly work with just by providing a little code to it, and they know how to communicate in the background. So giving you an example again, if somebody on my newsletter opens a newsletter, Constant Contact's going to tell my CRM, this person opened the newsletter at this time, they clicked here, they clicked there, you should do this with it. So I can tell them, if they open this letter, add them to that email. So it's really just a great way of managing your contacts that much better. And like I was telling you before too with Facebook, if this person signs up for a newsletter, add them to that campaign. So a lot of just stuff happens behind the scenes that you set up once and maybe takes a little bit longer, but then after that it's done for everybody. So for example, everybody who signs up for my newsletter on Facebook, every morning at 3 a.m., Facebook sends that list to my CRM, and the list is already there. I don't have to do anything about it. I don't even have to think about it. And it sends me an email saying, hey, we added these 5 people or these 10 people to your list. Here you go. And you can even trigger something else, like after they get this email, then do that with it. So anyway, CRMs can be great in that fashion. A lot of real estate agents want to use a dialer just because it speeds up the process of prospecting. A lot of other companies use these as well. So maybe you have a dialer that automatically dials phone numbers that you give it. Instead of tracking hundreds of missed calls or calls that you've left voice messages for, the CRM can basically say, okay, here's this big chunk of people that you left a voicemail for in July. You should try calling them again this month, and you should try calling them again that month, and you should try sending them an email, or you should try texting them, things like that. So it's just, once you get to know how your follow-up works, you can tell your CRM, do this for me, and it'll just do it in the background. That's what's incredible about it. And that's the problem, is most businesses are so specific as to how you want to follow up with them, or maybe the methodology of what you want to do, that it takes a lot of customizing. And that's why there's a lot of businesses that help you set these up. So I was talking about Insightly a little earlier. Insightly can, if you pay kind of a higher amount, they actually have a team that can work with you and set a lot of these features up. They make it simple enough where you can do it yourself, which is great. If you go with a company like Salesforce, some of those things can be set up on your own, but a lot of times you're going to have to hire a third-party programmer to set up these features for you, and you're going to have to just kind of work through the whole workflow of your business, from the time that you guys get a lead in your business all the way till the time that they close, and all the steps that happen in between. And then even post-close, how often do I stay in contact with somebody once they've bought from me? So some are managed by the owner of the CRM. Some you have to hire third-party people for, and that's why the cost can go up significantly. Anyway, other than that, but I guess I'll go back to cost for a little bit because I was going to wrap that up. I would pretty much budget around $100 per month per user for a CRM out of the box. And you're going to, sorry, phone call there, I had to stop that. You're going to have some setup fees on top of that, but for the most part, you're about $100 per user per month. And you'll quickly realize how fast you can get that money back once your systems are in place, because it just cuts out so much time out of your day of doing mundane tasks that happen over and over and over that a CRM can take care of for you. So in the end, I think personally it's a great way to get to know your business. It helps you think about things that maybe you haven't considered before, like the cost of a lifetime value of a client. And you're really going to get to know your numbers better that way. You're going to get to know how you follow up with people. Maybe you realize you thought you were following up with clients and you really aren't. So go find a CRM, spend, a couple days really diving deep into the features and benefits that you want. If you have any questions about what Insightly's done for us or what Salesforce possibly could do for you, I'm not selling any of these products. I believe a lot in them. I've used Infusionsoft quite a bit as well. They're great products, and there's a lot you can do with them. And I know there's dozens and dozens of other CRMs out there. So really dive into it, find out what needs to happen with your business and how you can do it. And I'm happy to give a couple recommendations of companies that can help you set those up. So anyway, I hope your week is off to a good start. Again, this is Monday's Friday, Facebook Friday. Thanks for checking in and following us on our newsletter every week. I will talk to you soon.